Due to the similarities between their names, people often make mistake thinking that stakeholder and stockholder or shareholder and stakeholder are similar, but there are differences. So in this video we are going to vanish that misconception, and later on we are going to see the key differences between shareholder or a stockholder and stakeholder. So let's start with stakeholder. A stakeholder is a party that can influence and can be influenced by the activities of the organization. They are the interested parties who help the organization to exist. So we can say that in the absence of stakeholders, the organization will cease to exist. Because the reason is displayed in front of you. Have a look at the people or the parties who are considered as stakeholders. Customers, users, investors, and shareholders themselves, partners, media, press, public authorities, government, trade groups, community groups, and protesters, competitors, special interest, charities. So these are the stakeholders. Now it's time to know the theory of shareholder. A shareholder, also known as stockholder, is an individual or institution, including a corporation, that legally owns one or more shares of stock in a public or private corporation. So simply, shareholder means if you buy a share of a corporation, then you're a shareholder of that company and you are the partial owner of that company, and your power is limited by your share you're holding on. So, a shareholder is a person or an institution that owns share or stock in a public or private operation. They are often referred as members of a corporation, and they have a financial interest in the profitability of the organization or project. But you will not be considered as a shareholder until you are being listed in the book of shareholder members of that organization. Have a look at the key differences between shareholder and stakeholder. First one is the person holding the shares of the company is known as shareholder. The party having a stake in the company or organization is known as stakeholder. The second difference is shareholders are the owners of the company as they had bought the financial shares issued by the company. Conversely, stakeholders are the interested parties who affect or get affected by the company's policies and objectives. The third difference is shareholders are a part of the stakeholders. It can also be said that shareholders are stakeholders, but the stakeholders are not necessarily the shareholders of the company. The fourth difference is shareholders lay emphasis on the return of the investment made in the company. On the other hand, stakeholders focuses on the performance, profitability, and liquidity of the company. The fifth key difference is the scope of stakeholders is comparatively wider than the shareholders because there are other constituents also apart from shareholders. And the last difference is only the company limited by shares have shareholders. However, every company or organization have stakeholders, whether it is a government agency, non-profit organization, company, partnership firm, or a sole proprietorship firm. So guys, this is all about stakeholder and stockholder. If you have any confusion, you can always comment in the comment section. Your comment is very valuable to me. Thank you very much for being with me.